So sorry to stop that song right there, but it is 10:30. Just a reminder that if you haven't already, for every class, you should be filling out the a.yrk.lank form so that admin knows where you are in case of an emergency. Have a good Monday.
Thank you, Francis. Let me just send me a chat if I'm cutting out at all. I think my internet might be a little unstable, but I'm going to be leading Brave for today. Kevin has a job interview, so sending him positive vibes right now. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Enjoyed Easter if you celebrate. Otherwise, just enjoyed the sun. The first announcement for today, I believe, is Mr. Key.
Thanks, Kate. I appreciate it. First, I want to thank everyone for a smooth return to campus, especially the 11th and 12th grade students for 2 successful days last week, and for the 8th, 9th, and 10th grades for a positive beginning this morning. I also want to thank the faculty and staff for their hard work. It was a group effort to restart school in person, and I'm grateful for everyone's commitment. It's been certainly energizing to see students back on campus, and I hope to see more of you over the course of the next several weeks. Second, while we've focused our time and attention on returning students to campus, I've also been reflecting on recent national events, especially the rise in reported hate crimes against those of Asian heritage. As you perhaps know, the horrific murder of 8 people in Atlanta a few weeks ago, 6 who were women of Asian descent, highlighted this troubling trend. Of course, any loss of life, whether in Atlanta or Boulder with the shootings at the local grocery store, is appalling and unacceptable. It is especially pernicious when it targets certain groups, and the rise in the last year of anti-Asian incidents is disturbing. As a school, we can't ignore or compartmentalize wider events such as these. Undoubtedly, they affect us. Naturally, we have a responsibility to teach academic content, but we also have a greater obligation to nurture empathy, respect, and tolerance. I think these are our most essential duties as a school. Honoring the dignity of the individual has been a long-standing purpose of our community, as has been upholding positive, affirming, universal values. When sacrosanct universal values of dignity, justice, and acceptance are violated, we all must rise to the demands of the moment. We must create a school and strengthen our broader communities so that they are welcoming, inclusive, and humane. We must fight against hatred and fight for kindness, decency, and our common humanity. I hope you remember that. It is a most important undertaking to make sure every student feels safe and secure on our campus. We also want to support our students and families of Asian heritage and anyone who needs help grappling with these outside events. My hope for you as students is to become independent creative thinkers. You've probably heard me say that before, but implicit in that goal is that you'll also become problem solvers. Because we continue to struggle with discrimination in our wider communities, it is necessary for us as an educational institution to empower you to defend the universal values of equality and respect for others by helping you recognize and undermine intolerance anywhere you see it. The future is determined by our choices, and we have many choices to consider. But when there is a choice that will uplift those in need, we must make it together for the betterment of all. So thanks for listening and welcome back to campus. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you, Mr. Key. Yeah, it's really important to, get out there, look at some resources, try to reflect on your own contributions just in your daily life. If you've ever talked to me, I've probably mentioned this book to you, but this is a great book about the Asian American experience that I would definitely recommend to anyone who's interested. Moving on to our next announcement, we have Mr. Daniel.
Hi, you guys. So I want to remind you that this week marks a deadline for submitting your candidacy. If you're hoping to fill some very big shoes left by Kate and Kevin as they go off and get employed and solve problems, consider going to the following link where you can get lots of information on how to propose your candidacy. We're not going to have the requirement where you get a certain list of students to support your candidacy. Just find a grade dean or another adult on campus that will say, I support this person in this role for Executive Student Council. And there you go. Make sure you send me the email according to the directions that are done there. And I'm already excited with the number of contributions and candidacy interests that we've gotten so far. So thanks for your continued interest, and we look forward to getting more emails in the future.
Thank you. If you're on the fence, just go for it. It's a great opportunity, and no matter what, you'll have a good chance to try public speaking. So next announcement, we have Mr. Partlow.
Good morning. I have 3 announcements, and they're all for seniors. Graduation announcements are still in my office, so if you haven't picked up your names and your announcements to send to families that you're interested in notifying about your graduation and friends, I have all that in my office. So please pick it up by this Friday. Also this Friday, we have a movie night for seniors in the Gawain Family Theater, outside, socially distanced. We're going to have a nice movie company set up the projector and the screen. We're going to have snacks. I sent out a survey for the seniors to fill out so that I know how many of you are coming, because these are going to be individually packaged snacks that are going to be prepared in a socially distant and COVID appropriate way. So fill out that survey today, please. Thank you. And then seniors, also Ms. Flager is still looking for photos from you. If you have any questions about these photos, please reach out to her, but get her your photos. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Next up, we have Mr. Burkhauser.
Hey everyone, quick reminder to fill out the screening app, screen.yrk.lank, before you leave home every morning. That's it.
Awesome. Okay, we have Mr. Bloom next.
Good morning, everyone. For Wilderness Club this Wednesday, we are going to meet on campus. We're going to actually have a little hike up at the outdoor lab. So please bring appropriate shoes and check the weather so you're dressed for it properly. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have Mr. Martin.
Hey, good morning. Our featured artist this morning is Mason Hall. And Mason is a senior who is doing AP art drawing. And his concentration is Nocturnes in Japan. This is not a concentration piece, but this is a beautiful piece that he did. And you can kind of tell they're evening, kind of cooler compositions. He works digitally, and nocturnes are very difficult to do, and I think he has a really good eye for it. This being kind of humorous, I think. All you cat lovers. Well, give Mason a little kudos if you get a chance, and thank you for watching. Oh, go back.
I love these spotlights on all the different artists in our community. Mason has such a cool use of light, and especially with the nighttime scenes, it's so cool. Very talented, so glad we could support him. And next up we have Miss Sherry.
Thank you, Kate, and thank you, Mason and Mr. Martin. So I have 2 announcements. Number 1 is about Wednesday. So on Wednesday for our first community day since we've started coming back to campus, we actually have a forum. So we're going to do the forum and path virtually. So stay home on Wednesday morning and log into forum to hear some more presentations from 3 of our global scholars. And we'll follow that up with some discussions of the cool projects that they've done and the amazing experiences that they've had. So you'll be on campus for that. If you are in JSA Good Guys or Q&A, could you please check with your club sponsor to see where they will want to meet. They may want to meet virtually, or you may be invited onto campus. Everybody else, well, let me just say this, robotics and, as you just heard, Wilderness Club, you guys will be on campus. So robotics check in with Dr. Hannah or with your group leaders to see what your room is going, or your area is going to be to work on campus. So that's exciting. And Wilderness, you just heard about what you guys are doing, which is also exciting. Everybody else, I know that either the students or your sponsor has arranged to meet virtually. Okay, so you will be virtual for the afternoon, same time as usual. The other thing I wanted to just add on to Mr. Partlow's exciting announcements about things for seniors by saying, seniors, you may know that since we have, or maybe you haven't studied it as obsessively as I have, but once we went into red tier, we have been given permission to have a different socially distanced, but actually in person, not in your cars, in person commencement. So just even saying that gives me chills. I'm so excited for you guys. So I will be giving you all kinds of information on this and what you can expect and how many people you can invite. So hang on, but I hope you're as thrilled as I am. I'm so glad for you guys. Lots of info to follow. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sherry. Yeah, very good news for seniors. And next up, we have Ms. Berry.
All right. Oh, that's fantastic news. I'm so excited. This is a shout out to all the Lit Maggers out there. I don't know. I'm going to turn my camera. Tell me when you can see the typewriter in the background. You can see it? Okay. So this is the Lit Mag typewriter. And I'm going to be outside with her near the outdoor theater at lunch. And so any Lit Maggers in 8th, 9th, and 10th grade can come and play around. We'll have hand sanitizer to use before and after each person uses the typewriter. I'll have some paper out there. You can come and have fun. And once all the Lit Mag folks get a chance, other people can type out some things as well. And then I will make sure that I'm on campus on another day when juniors and seniors are on campus. So you guys get a chance too. All right. So I'll see you out at the top of the outdoor theater at lunchtime. It'll give me a few minutes to get out there though. The other thing is, in celebration of National Poetry Month, I'm really hoping that some of our student poets will read some of their original work. So just putting that out there. We'll talk about this more in Lit Mag on Wednesday as well.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Mr. Peters. Mr. Peters, are you there? Okay, we can hopefully come back to him after sophomore speeches, or one for today. Okay, so today's sophomore speech, we have Aria. So everyone, oh, I'm sorry. Is he? Sorry about this.
Here I am.
Okay, here we go.
I'm so sorry. I had technical difficulties.
It's all good.
First time all year, but it happens. Just a quick sports update. We're launching girls basketball this afternoon in the gym. Small team, social distancing, but we're able to have practice. We're really close to having a girls soccer team. We've got 8 people signed up. If we can get to 11 or 12, we can have a small short season in the month of April and part of May. We just need a few more people to get on board. A lot of people have questions about cohorts and switching and that kind of thing. Just remember, part of the cohort model was as a dispensation to try and do that in lieu of sports. Now that we have sports, we're hoping some people will get on board and do sports. Each sports team can have a discussion about what's an acceptable number of days of practices per week to make it work if you have a real love affair with one of your cohorts that may not go away. So that is something, if you're on the fence and you're thinking about getting involved, but you're just not sure. But if we get a critical mass of players, we can play a lot of local games and have some fun, get outside, be a team. Team is a great place to also have social time as well, as we know. So please don't hesitate to take the plunge and sign up for one of these teams as we get them launched. And they'll play most of their games in mid to late April. They'll begin and they'll finish somewhere around the middle of May. So you'll get in about 4 weeks of competition, maybe a couple of games a week. So if you have any questions, email me. And thank you so much for your time. And I apologize for the technical crash.
No worries. Yeah, definitely sign up for the sports. It's one of the best ways to make new friends, especially if you're a new student. But with that, I think we're done with announcements, and we have our sophomore speech for today. Aria, sorry about that, but everyone, let's give her a round.
Yay, Ray!
Woo! Let's go.
Go, Ray!
I was extremely homophobic and transphobic my whole life. Any representation of the LGBTQ community bothered me, probably because my religion always taught that it was a sin. I remember walking into Costco a few years ago and seeing a trans woman who worked there. I always judged her. In my mind, she was sinning for changing her body in a way that didn't reflect who she was born as. I didn't care that many people saw me in a negative light because of this belief, and even though I sometimes questioned why I judged these people so quickly, I pushed those thoughts aside, telling myself it was wrong to support them. At a friend's birthday party this year, a few of her closest friends since elementary school and I hung out at the park. I knew and was comfortable with all of them, and didn't expect much difference from how things were in the past. One of her friends, Leo, had recently cut their long red hair short, and even though I thought it was cute, I kept wondering why they'd done it. Leo walked up to my friend wearing a white shirt reading "Proud" with a rainbow across the middle. Of course, I knew what this meant, and in my mind, I was silently judging them while wondering why they'd worn it or how they fit into the community. I thought maybe they were bisexual or something small in my mind. Towards the end of the party, all of us sat down to talk. The topic of LGBTQ issues came up, and we all began to engage in the conversation. It was eye-opening to see just how many of my old-time friends' sexuality, gender identity, or beliefs on the subject I had overlooked. One of the girls, who was gender fluid and lesbian, Sam, noticed that Leo was being pretty quiet and asked them about themselves and their pronouns. Leo, being shy in general, hadn't said much in the conversation, but now seemed more comfortable with us than I'd ever seen them before. They came out and told us they were transgender and wanted to change their name to Leo. The switch in my brain was difficult to take in, but for the first time, I didn't feel revolted by the idea of someone wanting to change their gender. I looked at Leo, thought how much I just wanted to hug them in the moment. The transphobia I'd felt throughout my whole life was melting away like an ice cube. My heart was softening towards everyone in the LGBT community, and I actually felt relieved. It was liberating to have a newly found open mindset and to not have a bias against them anymore. That night, I thought about my beliefs and what I'd put others through by judging them so quickly. I realized my whole mindset was messed up. There shouldn't be a better or a worse when it comes to someone just being themselves. I shouldn't think gender dysphoria is a sin. I shouldn't be more uncomfortable around a trans woman than I am with a bisexual friend. And I shouldn't think, is he gay? when a man's voice is pitched higher than usual. I made these realizations one after another and finally stepped out of my homophobic/transphobic state. It took a few weeks for me to truly see people for who they are, to stop judging them. And in the process, I learned to accept myself more too. Thanks to my open mindset, I recognized that I'm also part of the transgender community and wanted to help support others. I no longer feel the need to judge people anymore based on their gender identity or whom they're attracted to. But most importantly, I can love people who I once judged and make everyone feel heard and respected. Thank you.
My dad's clapping in the background. Sorry, he just came in, but that was an amazing speech, and I'm so proud of you for feeling comfortable with sharing your story of acceptance and learning to accept yourself. I think that's so important for all of us to hear. I think that your speech really speaks for itself. I don't want to take too much of the talking space here, and yeah, just a very important message to all of us, you know, to be accepting of others, to approach every situation with an open mind, because you know, our beliefs are open to change and they should always be. So, Ray, thank you so much again for your speech. And with that, let's go into the day with a good mindset. And thank you all for coming, and I'll see you next time.